Social Security isn't keeping up with inflation, which could hurt Sniffy Joe's support. All right, so I hate this article because every single year they regurgitate the same thing. But we're going to go into it because, hey, if it hurts Biden, it's good for America. If it hurts Biden, of course, Biden's just, he's not there. He probably has 8 body doubles that are pretending to be Biden. Who knows? But if it hurts that guy's political chances, then we're going to report on it. But I hate this article because it's the same article every single year. And it's going to be the Senior Citizens League. And what's that lady's name? Virginia something from the Senior Citizens League. It drives me so crazy. And let's go into it. Here's Tammy Luby, I guess. And if it's from CNN, you know it's legit. Here's Tammy Luby. Social Security doesn't keep up with inflation that could weaken Sniffy Joe's support among seniors. Not long ago, Social Security got the 2 biggest annual increases in their monthly Social Security that they had ever seen. But for many of them, the adjustments still weren't enough to cope with the runaway inflation of earlier this decade and continued high prices for food, housing, utilities, and other necessities. That's forcing many of them to spend their emergency savings, carry debt on credit cards. Okay, hold on just a second. Come here. Someone named Pablo wants to say hola. My name is Pablo. I say, there's an old song, if anyone knows it. When I went to Peru in 1996, my man Manuel, there's a song they used to play down there. I say calor, ooh, 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 I say calor. Isn't that right, Bob? Are you Mexican or are you Peruvian? Anyway, very much enjoyed going to Peru. Don't want to live there, but I liked it. The Shining Path. I was like, I'll tell a story at a different time. But anyway, let's keep going. I'm not part of the Shining Path. Did you know, real quick, Fujimori, Peru, and I don't think she won. She didn't. But they had Alberto Fujimori, hi baby, was a president in the 90s who took on the Shining Path, and he's like Japanese descent. Isn't that interesting? There's a lot of Japanese descendants in Peru. I thought that's kind of interesting. His daughter tried to run in 2020, 21, something like that. And, free and fair elections in Peru, just like Brazil, just like here. So she lost to some commie. And, but who knows? That's why Argentina, Peru, Chile, they're all just never going to join the modernity of economic growth because they have commies in there. I know Argentina doesn't have one now. I get it. But a long time they have, that's for sure. And hey, that's okay, man. Our version of economic growth doesn't have to be applicable to everybody. But if you don't follow our rules, we shouldn't give you any money. We should stop the freaking money that the U.S. is spending to all these guys. Israel, Ukraine, all over. I mean, we don't have enough money for ourselves. Crazy. All right. Let's see. Many depend heavily on Social Security, seniors. Some 42% of elderly women and 37% of elderly men rely on the monthly payments for at least half their income, according to Social Security. Now, interesting, they don't give us an asterisk here to see where they're getting that from. Because is that from the old current population survey numbers, or is this a modern number? I don't know. But either way, I mean, nothing inherently wrong with relying on Social Security for over half your income. The squeeze could also potentially influence some seniors. Some polls have shown that Americans generally disapprove of Sniffy Joe's handling of the economy. Yeah, I wonder why. Costs remain high, right? Inflation has been eating away at 36% of Social Security benefits. Yeah, right here, Senior Citizens League. I knew it. I didn't even read the article. Inflation has eaten away at 36% of Social Security's buying power since 2000. Those who retired before 2000 would need a nearly $517 a month boost in their benefits just to maintain the same level of purchasing power as in 2000. All right, so what's wrong with that? This is idiotic. This is what freaking ticks me off. What's CPI based on, Senior Citizens League? Oh, housing and transportation. Crazy. Housing is like 40%. Transportation is another 17%. How many seniors are actually buying or leasing a new or used vehicle? Not many. Talked to these 2 people up in Baltimore yesterday. And they both have pensions. They have, house paid for. He likes his job. So he's like, I'm keep going, you know what I'm saying? But I was just laughing because I said, let me guess. I already knew what they're going to drive. And sure enough, she drove a 2013. He drove a 2015. She drives a Honda. He drives a Toyota. And I said all the time, you know you're ready to retire if you, the husband, drives a 2007 Ford F-150 and the wife drives a 2013 Toyota Camry. Now, these people live in the city, so there's no reason to have a Ford F-150. They live in Baltimore specifically. I was like, yep. And so he just drives a little friggin' pea shooter of a Toyota Camry. I said, that's, yep, no debt, couple pensions, house paid off. So when we look back to a barking dog, we say CPI is based on transportation costs that aren't applicable to the vast majority of seniors. CPI is based on housing costs that are not applicable to the vast majority of seniors. People tell me this all the time. My real estate taxes have gone up. I'm like, have they gone up? Because I hear people 20%. Have they gone up 20% a year? No. I live in Fulton County, Georgia, dude. My real estate taxes go to prosecute Donald Trump, apparently, for Fannie Willis. My real estate taxes went up, but I looked at them from a couple years ago. They've gone up about 3% a year. Now, I'm in Fulton County, Georgia, all right? The bastion of blue southern counties. You're not getting much more blue than here, that's for sure. And yet my real estate tax has gone up about 3% a year. Anyway, and they're not cheap, by the way. A spate of decades-high inflation, which peaked in 2020, led to annual cost of living adjustments of 5.9% in 2022 and 8.7%. For this year, we're expecting an increase of only 3.2% because inflation is moderated. Let's see if they got the lady from the Senior Citizens League. It's going to be a lady named Virginia. I could have sworn that's her name. At the same time, is it Virginia or is it Mary? I forgot. At the same time, the league is hearing from more seniors that their household costs rose more than the benefit bump. Food is a particular pressure point. Yeah? Well, food is one. I don't deny that in the least. That's why we should change the way we measure CPI. And don't tell me we should go back the way it used to be in 1977 as if it was all grand then. What happened with CPI back then? If people don't know this, dude, it boggles my mind. Oh, it used to be measured correctly. Oh, you know what they measured back then? They actually measured with mortgage. They didn't use OER, owner's pocket equivalent rent. They didn't. They used actual mortgage interest, the cost to purchase a home. Again, if your house is in your name, the only cost you have to worry about is maintenance and real estate taxes and homeowners insurance. And that's not cheap, I grant you what I'm saying. The shortfall is turning more seniors to turn to other sources of funds, such as savings or credit cards. Well, that's why I have savings. They are suffering, literally suffering, says, who said this here? Someone, Shannon Benton. Now, new executive director. Okay. Let's take a look at let's check this out. Hold on a second. She's been the director for 24 years. I don't think that's true. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Now, there she is. There's Shannon Benton. I don't think that's, unless I thought it was somebody else was always interviewed by maybe it was Mary Knowles. Maybe it was her. Let's take a look at her. Maybe she was the one always interviewed. I don't know. Anyway, there's someone else. It wasn't Shannon Benton. I might have been Mary Knowles. I thought it was some lady named Virginia, but maybe I'm confusing that. But who knows? I'm getting old. Anyway, the point being is, hey, man, whatever hurts Sniffy Joe politically is good for me. But without question, this whole idea that inflation, the CPI isn't keeping up, or the Social Security isn't keeping up with inflation, it's just wrong. It is 100%. I mean, you can. And then they want to use the CPIW or the CPIU or the CPIE. All these things are within 5 basis points, 10 basis points of each other, 3.3 to 3.2. That's it. So I don't like that. I don't like this. But it's kind of like Jesse Jackson with racism. You're always going to find racism if your reason to get a paycheck is identifying racism. It's kind of like the ADL. You're always going to find anti-Semitism if your whole existence is to find anti-Semitism. It's the same thing. And these people have been arguing the same article. You go back to newspapers.com, you're going to see the same article for decades. All right. God bless. Love your thoughts. We'll see you.